This afternoon, President Donald Trump went pretty nuclear, actually, on some conservative critics of his, specifically individuals who helped him get elected and are unhappy with the fact that he reneged on his campaign promises, including dragging us into more Middle East wars. And that includes Tucker Carlson, Alex Jones, Candace Owens, and Megyn Kelly. Jake, before we give you his statement, Mark Levin is going after you because of your statement about this on X. Your 2 cents?
Mark Levin. Okay, so this is political suicide for Donald Trump. So he is cutting off the most popular broadcasters on his own side. And he's going with the least likable person in America, Mark Levin. He'll be down to about 2 voters by the end. So Tucker and the rest are doing something smart. They're trying to save the right wing from Donald Trump in the future. But right now, the GOP is in a world of trouble. Because I'm gonna tell you something after Anna gives you the facts about this temper tantrum as to why this will affect the midterms so much. You have to hear why that is. So Anna, give us the facts.
So please bear with us as I go through this very, very long post by President Trump. It does seem as though his former supporters have really struck a nerve here. But here's what he says. I know why Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, Candace Owens, and Alex Jones have all been fighting me for years, especially by the fact that they think it is wonderful for Iran, the #1 state sponsor of terror, to have a nuclear weapon because they have one thing in common: low IQs. Right, low IQs. Now look, I'm gonna keep going and read the rest of his statement, but like, even if you disagree with everything Tucker Carlson has to say, to argue that he has a low IQ, especially relative to Donald Trump, is maybe the funniest thing I've ever heard in my life, okay? Same goes for the rest, honestly. Even Alex Jones. Alex Jones might be a lunatic, but I think he's even smarter than our president. I genuinely do. And that's not a compliment for Alex Jones, but it's definitely an insult toward our president. Let me continue. He continues by saying that they're stupid people. They know it, their families know it, and everyone else knows it too. Look at their past, look at their record. They don't have what it takes, and they never did. Well, they were never stupid enough to get manipulated by the Israelis to enter a devastating war that you are now desperately trying to exit, but can't. But I continue. He also says, they've all been thrown off television, lost their shows, and aren't even invited on TV because no one cares about them. They're nut jobs, troublemakers, and will say anything necessary for some free and cheap publicity. A few of these people have never had, actually several of them have never had Alex Jones never had a TV show, neither did Candace Owens. But okay, Candace Owens got fired from the Daily Wire's network because she had the audacity to criticize Precious Israel. Now they think that they get some clicks because they have third-rate podcasts, but nobody's talking about them. And their views are the opposite of MAGA, or I wouldn't have won the presidential election a landslide. By the way, all 4 of these individuals helped Trump get elected, not just the first time around, but also the second time around. MAGA agrees with me and just gave CNN a 100% approval rating of Trump, not hand-flailing fools like Tucker Carlson, who couldn't even finish college. He was a broken man when he first got fired from Fox, and he's never been the same. Perhaps he should see a good psychiatrist. Or Megyn Kelly, who nastily asked me the now famous only Rosie O'Donnell question, or crazy Candace Owens, who accuses the highly respected First Lady of France of being a man when she is not, and will hopefully win lots of money in the ongoing lawsuit. Actually, to me, the First Lady of France is a far more beautiful woman than Candace. In fact, it's not even close. I gotta stop for comment, Cenk. I gotta stop for comment. There's more, believe it or not, there is more.
Yeah. So, yeah. So he's proving how high IQ he is by getting into a debate about who's prettier, Candace Owens or the First Lady of France.
Yeah.
Because that's relevant in the middle of a war with Iran, et cetera. A very stable genius.
Yeah.
So literally everything he said about them, low IQ, nut jobs, losers, and even supporting Iran is nothing but projection. That is exactly what he is. He's a loser, low IQ nut job. And how's he supporting Iran? He just got Iran $2 million a ship through the Strait of Hormuz. Iran's gonna be loaded. He couldn't have helped Iran anymore if he tried. He's a moron of epic proportions. So look, I'm gonna get to again why this is gonna affect the midterm so much in a sec. But one more thing here. Trump, Israel First has gotten into what Joe Kent and I talked about when I interviewed him here on the Young Turks. They've gotten into what the military calls his OODA loop. And an OODA loop is the things that surround a person, right? Their sphere of experience. So something huge might be happening, but if you're not aware of it, then it's not in your OODA loop, okay? And that's an acronym, military acronym. So in Trump's world, he's not seeing how popular Tucker Carlson is and the rest, because he only watches TV and mainly watches Fox News. So in his OODA loop, everything is, oh my God, the Israelis are the greatest. And my God, the whole country loves Israel and wants you to only serve Israel, right? So he really thinks that's what's happening in the country. And he thinks, oh, since I'm not seeing them, they must be tiny and irrelevant now. So he's attacking them with what he thinks is impunity because he thinks they're not that relevant anymore. He has no idea that only boomers like him are left watching TV and that they're the now tiny minority compared to everyone else watching shows online and in other places. That's why he's among the reasons why he's so incredibly clueless.
Yes, absolutely. In fact, I don't know about Alex Jones because the whole Sandy Hook shooting debacle might have really hurt him and his business. But for the other three, they're bigger than ever. Their online audiences are far larger than they were previously. Certainly when it comes to Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens had a sizable audience when she was at the Daily Wire. It's only gotten way, way bigger since leaving the Daily Wire. So, I mean, these claims are absolutely ridiculous. Same with Megyn Kelly. Megyn Kelly has a huge audience. So with all of that in mind, let's get to what he had to say about Alex Jones. He says, or bankrupt Alex Jones, who says some of the dumbest things and lost his entire fortune, as he should have, for his horrendous attack on the families of the Sandy Hook shooting victims, ridiculously claiming it was a hoax. Look, I actually agree with that excerpt. I think what he did in the Sandy Hook situation was disgusting, and he should have suffered the consequences of terrorizing those poor parents who lost their kids. But let's get to the rest of it. Now, fake news CNN, the failing New York Times, and all of the other radical left news organizations are hailing them and giving them positive press for the first time in their lives. They're not MAGA, they're losers, just trying to latch onto MAGA. As president, I could get them on my side anytime I want to, but when they call, I don't return their calls because I'm too busy on world and country affairs. Don't say country. You couldn't care less about this country. You're too busy, diddling around with the Israelis, causing all sorts of havoc all throughout the Middle East. So back to you, Cenk.
Yeah, so now let's get to the midterms. So the polling is misleading, guys, because so here's the polling is not inaccurate. Let me explain. So the Republicans are losing to the Democrats in the polling, but the Democrats are not doing that well because their leadership is also despised and also compromised. So people look at that and go, oh, maybe the elections will be close. No, they won't be. The Democrats will win huge by default. Why? Because elections have a second factor that is not talked about nearly enough, which is voter turnout. So ain't nobody gonna go out there and get excited to vote for Trump and the Republicans when they're defying everything that they said before. So Trump is attacking all of the most popular broadcasters on his side. He's attacking the idea of no more wars, which is what he ran on. I mean, so for us, what he said about Alex Jones is completely correct. And But for a lot of MAGA, they don't like to hear that, right? About how he's attacking Alex Jones. They don't like how to hear how he's attacking Candace Owens, even though we might disagree with Candace on we do disagree with her on the First Lady of France, etc. I mean, he is punching his own voters in the face so hard. And, if you think that they're all gonna show up and vote for him, as excited as they were before, you're out of your mind. So the Republicans are gonna get slaughtered in the midterms because barely any of their voters are gonna show up to vote. What are they excited about? Are they gonna be like, oh my God, I hope we get another war in the Middle East. I hope gas prices are even higher, right? No, there's gonna be no excitement at all in the Republican base. This is political harikari. I mean, he's just going deeper and deeper into, thrusting the metaphorical sword into his own gut. I mean, he's got a lot of room to go. But so this is as devastating as it gets for those. And by the way, look, you got to give credit to some of these folks. There's massive disagreements we have, certainly with the Alex Jones of the world, etc. But when the push came to shove, are you going to stick with your principles of no new wars, no Middle Eastern wars, America first, or are you going to just lick Donald Trump's boots? A lot of MAGA and a lot of their influencers chose to lick Donald Trump's boots, but some didn't. And principled among those were Tucker Carlson, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and Tom Massey. And by the way, who's coming out the winner? New poll out, Tom Massey with a double-digit lead against his opponent, backed by Donald Trump. Donald Trump did a rally in that district in Kentucky against Massey, and Massey's still leading by double digits. And by the way, Donald Trump is so gone that in this post, he called Marjorie Taylor Greene Marjorie Trader Brown. What is that? Like, he just has no idea what's going on anymore.
Yeah, the markings of an actual low IQ individual. That's what that is.
Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.